So we're back with the same blank from yesterday. Hopefully we'll get quite a bit more done today and start to work on the handle a little bit. So it's always good to have a good sharp knife, but sometimes, and I'm working cross grain there, the wood decides what it wants to do. It's usually a better idea to listen to the wood than try to force things. But we will just keep working at it. Hopefully a little better angle. And I am trying to watch what I'm doing with my very sharp knife rather than the video. And I suppose someone could tell me why it's smarter to work on the bowl first versus the back, or the back first versus the bowl. I do a little bit of each at a time as I work. The other important thing to remember is that as I work on the depth of the bowl, I have to have enough wood left over on the back not to work my way through unless I want a slotted spoon, which I don't want. And I never have been forced to make one, but that's an obvious fix for that. And we're working against grain here. And you can have some fancy calipers, but one of the things you want to do is keep judging how much room there is between the bottom of the bowl and the back. And actually, this is pretty thin as it sits right now. I don't have a ton of room to take more off when rounding the back. So a fairly good thickness. I need to work a little more on the outside and particularly up front. And in general, this little bit here is the most difficult to get to. that's coming. A completely different kind of cut, still keeping my hands way back. We make square things round by knocking the corners off, and every time we take a corner off, there's a new edge to be taken. I generally like to keep the plane of the top about the same and scoop out the bottom. But we'll see what this one wants to do. And I'm also going to have to deal with this wormhole here. Figure out what I'm going to do with that. It's a bit big and obvious. I have some that I've done from wormy wood that just really gives it a lot of extra character. So I'll work on removing as little wood as I can from the top. While I'm rounding it. How much you take off has to do with the angle of the blade and how shallow it is. Just scraping along the top is a pretty shallow angle.